Hi everyone, it's Aunt Vancie, and I'm here in the bungalow about to go do some grocery shopping. I love that word, grocer. Going to the grocer. Anyhow, I have an Ask Aunt Vancie segment, and the question comes from Larry. And Larry asks, Dear Aunt Vancie, you know what? I'm just going to read it to you. What advice can you give for handling depression and some steps in dealing with it? Thanks, Larry. Do you see me kind of go, because I don't have my glasses on? Well, Larry, I do suffer from depression. I am clinically diagnosed as depression, and that stems from social and trans or gender-based anxiety. Myself as a transsexual woman, I am docile and calm and quiet and subdued and submissive by instinct, naturally, meaning that I'm not one to typically cause drama if it's completely unnecessary. And I suffer from depression, as does, family members. And I know a lot of people who suffer from depression. I think that a lot of our depression comes from a lot of our depression comes from man-made circumstances. Jobs, money is the biggest depression for me. I have 8 souls to look after, and it seems I have a difficult time getting gigs. More difficult now than ever. It seems like since I left an establishment several years ago with some other people, I have since been almost what feels like blackballing in my community, except for a few places like TC's where I work once or twice a month, which I love that gig. But, so that would be circumstances, man-made circumstances that cause that depression in me. Financial, I have found more so than not, is very difficult. Me being on Social Security disability and trying to go back to school and doing all that I have to do for that financial aid process, which is taking forever. And I cleared my calendar for a new job, and that is taking a lot longer than we suspected. So it has caused a great strain on me fiscally with my bills, things that I have financed. My credit is struggling, and so, all of this walks hand in hand. I'm just trying to give you examples of my own personal struggles that cause me depression. And also, one of the things that causes is the reaction, my depression is a reaction to this action. The action being working on myself, my spirit, my mind, my body, the Holy Trinity, the spirit, the mind, the body. Well, the spirit of the mind, they're kind of the same, because that's where you get your, anyway, it's a whole other blog. So that Trinity, the mind, body, spirit, the more that I go about healing, learning, growing, teaching, sharing, motivating, being motivated, finding the source of depressions, the source of anxiety, finding the baseline of why I need to compete in order to have, or why I needed to compete to fulfill that void. Like if this is the box of my being, see how it's incomplete? It's not an actual secure, strong box. It always had fractures in it from things that were caused in childhood. So I had to figure out why it was that I was doing things that were not really satisfying me to find fulfillment in outside influences when it was an inside issue. Man-made, depression, anxiety, things of that nature. I often say, and I have coined the phrase, so don't look for an outside solution for an inside issue. Meaning you can't find fulfillment outside of yourself. In other words, peace comes from something. Joy comes from within. So I am joyful in my relationship with God, or I am joyful in my sobriety. But you bring me peace with your love and sex, or whatever, the case may be. These are aha moments that have helped me deal with my depression. So that's one of your answers. That for me, that's what I do. How do I deal with it, and steps that I take to ensure that it doesn't overwhelm and control my life, is finding the source of what the reaction is, why you have that reaction to an action. What is the source, the flat line of your depression, of my depression? Part of that, me competing and competing and competing and winning some and losing some, is it never fulfilled what I needed to be fulfilled, which was the wholeness, the oneness, the being, and the treasure within me. My well was always incomplete. It was always drained of sufficiency, and I never was able to stand on the solidity of the ground of my own being. So I have retired from pageants because I don't need that gratification or that pat on the back for other people. Not to mention it's extremely expensive, and I don't feel like begging anymore, and I don't really need it. I'm on a different spiritual path. I love to watch it and support other people, but for me personally, it's just not in the cards for me any longer because I don't want it. People, places, and things, the nouns that we learn in program, to any 12-step program will tell you, any self-help or self-aware program, teacher, learning situation, book, lecture, the bottom line is change your nouns. If you change the people, places, and things that are causing you duress, stress, and anxiety and depression, then chances are that stress, duress, blah, 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 and depression, anxiety and depression will no longer be a factor because I have removed the whys and the what ifs and the causes. So it takes a lot of effort, a lot of strength in believing in yourself, even when I don't want to believe in myself, and all I want to do is stay in my pajamas and let my panties crawl to the washer by themselves because they're so crunchy. Depression makes me sit in my drawers, until when I pee, I can't tell if it's me or the litter box. That is depression. Sleeping till 2 o'clock in the morning, staying up until 5 o'clock in the morning, that is a sign of depression. Eating whatever I want to eat to make me feel better is just as bad as doing a buff of cocaine or sleeping all day because it deadens what I feel. And instead of medicating it and placating it and putting a veneer on it, I have finally decided to get to the root of the matter. So my depression sometimes gets me, but what I've learned to do, Larry, is when I feel it come on, if I don't have an outside source like a support group to speak with or friends that I can vent to or someone like-minded that goes through, has gone through, or is affluent in that type of situation because of the situations they might have been in. All of these things work hand in hand to secure a better Vancie. So that Vancie can get up and go, you know what, I feel depressed today. I got up at 11, but I laid in bed till 2, which was today. And I woke up feeling fine, but then when I finally got out of bed, I was sad again. And partly of that is because I've been waiting around for people to want to book me instead of being proactive, like taking my own advice and being proactive in that. But it's also a realization that I have different spiritual and intellectual needs that are not being met with what I'm doing at the moment. So, and that could be career, spirit, family, motivation, school, anything of that nature. It's a lot to process. There's a lot of work one has to do to overcome depression and to realize the signs of going into depression. But praying won't make it go away if all you do is pray and sit in your pajamas. Not taking your medicines, if that's what you need, on time, all the time, and then not doing anything else but taking medication is not going to do anything for you. You cannot, I cannot, and dare I say you, anyone, cannot rid themselves of a burden by just taking medicine or just saying please on their knees. You have to do, you and I, have to do the footwork to change our thought process, stop believing what we're told all the time, and do what is best for you and I with regard to our mental and thought process, our mental well-being, you know, our psychiatric well-being. So, Larry, I'm always here for you. I adore and love you so much. And I want each of you to know that you can write me, and if you want to be anonymous, just simply sign it anonymous in quotes, and I will say anonymous, or I'll assign you a name or something like that. Hashtag Ask Aunt Vancie. You can inbox me your questions, or you can email them directly to vancievega@yahoo.com. VANCIE Vega@yahoo.com. Always, always remember that you deserve wonderful things in your life. I believe in you, and I hope that you believe depression is beatable. It is. So always keep in mind that I know that today deserves a great you. God bless and keep you, and I'll hear from you soon. Inbox me. Bye-bye.